Veek's perspective. A long, rounded snout appears from behind the wooden wall. A weird toeless leg comes out and meets the ground with a heavy clop that lets me know the animal it's attached to is large. The bizarre-looking creature shows itself. It has orangey brown eyes on the side of the head, the pupils wide and square for scanning the horizon. It's fully covered in a coat of very short, very dark hair, except along the back of the neck and above the arse, where the dark hair is long, and above the shoe armour, where the hair is white. It has a strong smell that's not like anything I've ever smelled before, but sort of reminds me of grasshopper deer and animals like it. It's solid and muscly, and looks like it might weigh more than a frack hand. It's kind of frightening to be so close to an animal so big, even seen as a plant eater, and even with the pretty one-eyed Terran with me. That's not a person, right? I ask. The big woman laughs and says, "Legally, nah, he ain't. Valiente's a Criollo breed equine, all the way from terra firma. He's classified as a deaf wild beast of burden. Like to think he got more brains in that head than a couple of people I've met in my life, but he ain't legally sapient. Did try him on a translator a little while ago, but he didn't like it, so he stopped." "And he told you he was called Valiente, then, did he?" She laughs in a way that tells me that was a stupid question before she even answers it. "No, darling," she explains with a kind smile. "His owner told me his name. Long, long time ago." "You aren't the one who owned him?" I ask, using the Terran word to shortcut the strange concept. "Well, again, the answer's legally yes. Far as the law's concerned, Val here's my property, but that ain't how I like thinking about it. You see, me and Val both lost his rider the same day I lost Ranger, my Mustang. After the war, it was just us two left. Val's more than just a horse I own. I reckon he's just about my best friend in the whole wide galaxy. Ain't you, Val?" she says, grasping the snout to put many kisses on top. I kinda wish she kissed me like that, but for some reason, I feel like now wouldn't be a good time to ask for it. Not sure why, though. "And you ride him?" "Sure do, darling," she smiles, showing me a fingerless mouth of teeth. "And he doesn't mind you riding him?" I ask skeptically. "He sure don't," she chuckles, picking up a weird stiff padded seat and reaching up to throw it over the massive back of the creature. "Being ridden's the highlight of Val's day." She bends and begins fastening the straps under the belly. I see, not really able to figure out what's in it for him. "Stallion hounds let folk ride them because they're better runners and we're better hunters. Both of us get more food than we would without the other. What does a prey animal have to gain from letting itself be ridden? He's so massive and strong looking that if he didn't want to let her ride him, there really wouldn't be anything that she could do to make him. So, I guess it's fine." She comes back to the snout and pushes more straps over it before fastening them up. The large woman takes a dangling loop, hanging off the straps in the hand, and starts leading them out behind her. The weird tallest animal, got to be close to 10 times her size, follows her calmly. She spares a glance back to me. "Word of warning, don't get right behind him, sweetheart. Horses kick when they're scared. Val's a good boy, but I don't want you taking a horseshoe to the face because you spooked him." She smiles. I'd already guessed to stay away from the legs, but I move myself even further. She grins and leads on. At the far side of the large underground room full of the smell of animals, wood and dry grasses, I see something quite confusing. We're a long way underground here, and yet... "Is that the sky?" I ask incredulously. "Nah, it ain't. Sky on this planet's pink. Blue skies in the paddock are meant to simulate outdoors on Earth. We're still underground, but they simulate outdoors just so these guys don't get stressed from feeling like they're shut up in boxes the whole time. Has a mighty similar effect on me, if I'm honest." She chuckles. We pass through the barn door to the outside. As soon as I'm across the threshold and look out over the wide field of short, bright green grass, the inside smells vanish, replaced by the strange ones of a world I've never been to, carried on a warm indoor breeze they've made, just to keep their animals happy, if I'm understanding her right. I can see what she means. It's quite soothing here in a way I haven't really felt since I left Ground. I close my eyes and take a deep breath from my nose, enjoying the fake sun and the fake wind under the fake sky that's just slightly the wrong shade of blue. You want a ride? Asks the pretty one-eyed woman. I turn to look at her and see her gesturing to the front of the seat she's putting on Val. He's really big. I frown, hesitating. You think Val's big? Remind me to show you a picture of Duke at some point. She laughs. Duke? Duke was my pappy's ride. Certified resurrected bison, Latte France. A longhorn buffalo. Weigh more than 2 tons. Near on 4-0 Val. I shake the head in a terrant no and say, that's too big. She laughs. Hyperrealism, Pappy said. Folks who came from them cities to get a taste of old times didn't really care that 'twan't till Buffalo Bill, when the Old West were almost over, that anyone tried selling a buffalo for the first time. Didn't care that those were bison, not Latte France. The fact that my pappy rode a giant Ice Age buffalo made it feel more real for him when we were taking the tourists out for cattle drives. Of course, anyone ever asked, he'd tell them Duke weren't exactly historically accurate, but you'd be surprised by just how few folks ever did. Oui, si, oui, Louis. She smiles and points up at the back seat. So, how about it, little lady? Want to take a ride with me? Two parts of me are biting and scratching each other as I look up at the seat. One part does not want to get anywhere near that giant weird animal. Way too big for something with bones on the inside. The other is thinking about just how little space there is on the back seat. Definitely going to need quite close contact. The horny side wins out as I answers, Sure, should I just jump up there or... No, she corrects immediately. Like I said, Val's well trained, but if you jump on him, that'll definitely spook him. Let him get a smell of you, and then I'll lift you up there. Okay, I say, lifting the left hand over the head and toward the snout. Jailer gently directs the head to me. A pair of nostrils so large I can fit a whole fist inside is brought to a finger breadth from the palm. Enormous amounts of air are sucked into and blown out of that nose when he gets the scent of me and considers. It occurs to me now that maybe I should have chosen the non-dominant hand to present, just in case he decides he doesn't like me and is going to bite the hand off about it when he pulls away. There now, darling. Val's got your scent and he's happy to let you ride. Alright if I pick you up? No problem, I answer, breathing a sigh of relief that I still have the hand attached. She bends and wraps both of the joint, light brown hands around the waist, lifting me up with ease. It feels very nice to be held like this. We curl the legs as she lifts me over her and puts me down on the seat back. We have to spread the legs uncomfortably far to get them over the wide back. It's also a bit scary to be this high off the ground on an unfamiliar mount. The end of my tail wraps around the ridge at the back of the seat to anchor me a little. Sorry, little lady. Gonna need your tail off the candle. I gotta sit there. She smirks, grabbing the tail and lifting it up to the back. I feel the warmth of the hand on the skin. She steps into the flat-bottomed ring of metal that dangles off one of the straps on the left side of the seat and climbs up, plopping herself into the space at the back. I feel the contact of her behind me. I wrap my tail around the side of the thick midsection and sit up to bring the back of the head to squash into the chest. I turn up to look into the face that's wearing an amused smirk, looking down. Comfy? She asks, with a cock of an eyebrow and a twist of the lips. Yes, thanks, I smile in answer. She chuckles and says, All right then, darling. Grip the pommel for me. I ain't gonna get Val to gallop, but still don't want you falling off. Ain't sure having your tail wrapped halfway around my waist will quite cut the mustard. Bring a hand in front of me to tap a finger against the upward spur at the front of the seat. We grasp it. She picks up the straps, giving them a little flick, and squeezes her legs against the sides. He begins moving across the field, quite fast. This is definitely not as fast as I can run, but it still feels frightening to be moving this speed with so much weight beneath and behind me. I tighten the tail for a moment, but immediately realize that, because it doesn't go all the way around her, That's actually just going to push me off the side of the mount if I keep doing it. I start over gripping the spur and nestling the back against the tall white stomach behind me. The elbows of the arms holding the straps are at least going either side, but I like it if they were a bit lower. Riding a horse isn't like riding a stallion hound at all. You'll think that sitting on the back of any animal would be sort of similar, but it's just not. I can't really explain how, but everything feels different. The heart pounds in the chest and the blood prickles flowing through the veins as we cover the underground field. We crest a hill and see what I assume we're heading for. A grassless area with what looks like horse obstacles in it and surrounded by barriers. I'd like to get down now, I say, trying not to sound scared and failing as we pull up to the side of the barriers. Ah, you done using my gals as pillows, darling? She chuckles. We frown and pull her head away from the chest, turning in the seat to look up at her. Sorry, was I being rude? I ask, worried that not understanding Terran ways might have made her dislike me. She smirks and wags the head. You're fine, sugar. Little bit funny for a Terran was all. I give a relieved chuckle. I feel a large hand between the shoulder blades as the fingers gather up the fabric on me. She lifts me off the horse seat, one-handed, and lowers me down to the ground. Okay if I drop ya? She asks me, the feet half my height up. Sure, I shrug the shoulders. The hand lets go and I spend a brief moment falling before landing with no issue. Alright, sweetheart, I'ma spend about half an hour here practicing with my whip and my lasso. You just let me know if you get bored and I'll be happy to take you back, okay? Says the one-eyed woman, sitting on top of the gigantic animal. Sure, I answer, without any intention of spending a single moment that I could be spending with her, not with her. But what's a whip? And a lasso? She gestures to one of the coils of rope on the hips. This is a whip, a long, flexible bit of rope that cracks loud when you flick it through the air. A lasso is a rope with a loop at the end that you throw to catch cattle or horses. Skill with ropes how I ended up as Haas's bodyguard. Citadel don't let you carry weapons, so every bodyguard in the ODR's gotta have some kinda unarmed gimmick. Martial arts, super strength. My gimmick's ropes, since they're not technically a weapon. My predecessor was a gorilla sapiens. You ever see a gorilla, darling? I waggle the head. I don't think so. Alright, imagine a human, give him shorter, thicker legs, longer, thicker arms, short, round snout with giant canine teeth, and give him hands where their feet should be and more muscles and a seafood cook-off. Now cover him in black fur, head to toe, and you basically got a gorilla. Gamba Winston Zvatica was also an absolute beast, even for a gorilla. If he hadn't have been against the cyborg killer, nothing in the galaxy would be enough to take that guy down, she says, with clear admiration for the dead man. He sounds strong. You've got to be very good with ropes if you can match that kind of strength. I frown curiously. She returns the eyes to me, and the smoke to the face as she answers, I'm very good with my 12 shooters, darling. When it comes to whips and lassos, I'm the best there is. A woman of many talents. I also play a mean bass guitar. I grin back. Why don't you show me the whips for now? Happy to oblige you, she smirks, as she rides forward into the enclosure. I hop up onto the fence to look at the back of her as she rides away from me. She takes the coil of rope from the hip and holds it in the left hand. At a signal from her, the horse speeds up to much faster than he was going when I was on him. The whip unspools as she swings it behind her. Then she launches the arm forward. Crack!